And now we're in a new atheistic environment where these people on the left, the Antifas and the BLMs of the world and the CRT pushers, not religious, not citing God, not looking towards the Bible, but creating their own religion, their own city,
Yeah.
and their own ideas. Talk to me about the holy city of anti-racism. Where are we? I love that phrase, by the way. Where are we today with all this? You know, what did you mean by that saying? And let's dig in a little bit about the current times, man.
Sure, sure. So, the whole origin of the liberal project is, in a way, to justify people doing whatever they want, right? And so, I know relativism is kind of a cringe word today, but that's the word that Strauss and Jaffa used. But we could say positivism, or we could say, do your own thing, or and ultimately this leads to nihilism, which is probably another word. I mean, you sort of talking about your own sort of flirting with that. But one of the things Jaffa taught, and also a co-teacher he had named Harry Newman, who emphasized this a great deal, is people ultimately can't be nihilists. And this is the great truth that I think we're now seeing with the left. The whole experiment with relativism and just do your own thing, and just hyper tolerance of whatever that liberalism wanted to achieve in the 60s turns out not to work because people can't believe in nothing. We're just not spiritually built to believe in nothing. On the other hand, the left can't go back to traditional Christianity, the founding, traditional morality. They're dogmatically committed to rejecting all that. So what happens when there's a hole in your soul, but you can't go back to Christianity and morality and the habits and mores of your grandparents? You have to come up with something else. And so you turn your political ideology into a religion. And I think that's what we're seeing. I mean, many other people have pointed out wokeness is a kind of religion. It has sin, it has damnation, right? It has kind of a priesthood. But in a way, it's pre-Christian, right? It's maybe it's a perversion of Christianity. But what I see is going back to the ancient city is they want to build a little community. They want to be the ancient polis, right? We're a little community. We're militants. We fight for our gods, and anyone who has a different god is a heretic. And that's really, in a way, I think, captures something about the left. It's a revival of this ancient belief in the small, militant, ancient city, which is passionately devoted to its gods.
I can agree with all of that, sir. I have wrote a book called Democrat to Deplorable, so I am already an apostate to them, and I am the worst kind of person. Apostate is definitely the worst. So I willingly walked out of there, right around the same time as they kicked me out, just as it were. And I have suffered at the hand of their desire to extinguish everybody and anybody that disagrees with them. I've been doxxed, I've been attacked, they've come after me and my family, they've gotten between me and my kids. It doesn't stop. Funny enough, I get attacks from the trad cath right as well too. So I'm getting attacks from all over the place, which, as you know, means maybe I'm doing something right. It is absolutely true that they are setting up the walls. They have their rites and rituals, and if you're not in with them, you're definitely on the outs. And if you're on the outs, we're going to kill you. And that's
Yeah.
basically where it is. Now, the most concerning part about this is that it's not just one little group. It's not just at one university. It's not just a town in Ohio for, just random choice, Kentucky, wherever. Nothing bad about Ohio, guys. Had JD Vance on the show. Hope he gets elected. It's that they're taking over the federal government, dude. They're taking over the federal
Yeah.
government and the military and the IRS and OSHA and the Office of Civil Rights and Congress and all of the bureaucracy in the deep state, CIA, FBI, which means that they can fulfill their desires to extinguish the enemies of their city, their holy city of anti-racism. They're actually
Yeah.
going to have the weapons and the tools and the powers to do that. And if they have completely captured all of the institutions that we have in America, education, media, corporations, all of them, it is a terrifying prospect to face. Now, I think in your book, you address this unlikely alliance between the foot soldiers of the radical left and the corporations. Now, do you see that and would Jaffa see that? How do we see this? Is that a sustainable alliance? Because it's clearly in place right now. Is it a
Yeah.
sustainable alliance? Because if it is, dude, I think we're fucked. but if it can be severed, I think that there is some hope. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's sustainable. I mean, the oligarchy has very different operating principles. It has very different, values, to use a modern term. It First of all, it becomes very dangerous to empower mobs to push your political agenda on the assumption that you can control them. So, we know that only one side of the political spectrum now is allowed to have mobs, and that's the left. But it's not so obvious that they will control them long term. Having now legitimate, I mean, basically, we're told in this country that it's legitimate to engage in lawless behavior and destructive behavior if you're on the left. Well, a lot of people have been told that now, and the idea that you're going to keep these people on a leash may not work. Um, the oligarchy wants consumers and workers. The woke left, again, is responding to kind of spiritual emptiness, and so there's a clash there, and I'm not sure it's going to work out, and that may end up working to the benefit of those of us who are anti woke and anti oligarch, who may find the possibility to exploit something there. Can I just add one other little thing that sort of came up in some of your early is long before Jordan Peterson came along, Joffe was also making this point in reference to classical philosophy. Peterson likes to say, before you can fix the world, you have to fix yourself. I don't know how many people probably know that sort of generally about Peterson's 12 step for life. And Joffe makes the same point. And the way he did it was by pointing to Aristotle and saying the ethics and the politics form a kind of reciprocal relationship, right? First, you fix yourself, you become virtuous, you develop the habits necessary to be a good citizen, and then you can work on your regime. And both of those are important. And the idea of withdrawing from politics and just getting strong, right? Just becoming like an anti-political, swole, distant right isn't really an answer because ultimately you want to become a good person in order to be a good citizen, right? You want to be strong in order to help other people. You want to be strong in order to fix your community. But both of those things are important. And Jaffa made this point a long time ago, and I think it's important to remember both pieces of that.
100%. And I'm going to do my own shameless plugging on my own show, which is okay. We have operationalized that idea in the Liminal Order. It is a collection of men acting intentionally with shared values, masculinity, brotherhood, and sovereignty, and all that's contained therein: honor, courage, strength, loyalty, service, accountability, etc., etc. And we are practicing these. We are developing these virtues in us on a daily basis in ourselves. And the idea that we give everybody is the same thing. You got to start with yourself first. You have to start with yourself first. You have to get in the squat rack. Saving the world starts in the squat rack. I believe that 100%. It's pithy, it's awesome, but it's true.
Yep.
And we do that to be of better service to other people. We're not trying to run away and hide. What we are trying to do is gather strength so that we can be Gandhi, be the change that you wish to see in the world, be that strong man, develop those, beauty, art based on aesthetics, be the community. Well, first the family that you want to have, then be the community that you want to see. And then hopefully we can have an impact on the nation. That's liminal-order.com, guys. And it is, we are trying to operationalize so much of all these things that we've been talking about, and this conversation is doing a good job of putting into the context, historical context, the philosophical context of why it's important. We're not outwardly a religious organization, but we emphasize the spiritual life. We have Christians and Catholics, and we have some agnostics. There are no militant atheists, though. And we do emphasize, like, look, if you don't believe in God, then at least meditate and get outside and do community service and do something that gets you outside of yourself. And these are the foundation blocks by which we're building a whole new community, a whole new culture. And we've got 800 guys now, and there's like 8,000 guys waiting on the wait list to get in, and we let in 50 every month. And the demand for it seems endless because I think we're tapping into something universal and something that rings true and proves the hypothesis is proven every single day here in culture, and especially with the diminishment of masculine energy. And so the Holy City of Anti-Racism has come down upon us, and they're looking at us and they're ready to cast us out. And we're trying to do our best to either prevent that or to build the polis of our values.